Now at 5 a.m. on WKYT this morning, police have been locked in a standoff in Lexington since just after midnight this morning. We'll have more information on this standoff just ahead.
Friends and family will gather today to remember a man killed in a Lexington shooting a week ago. We'll have details on the service coming up.
And this morning, Walt Disney World beaches are still closed after a deadly alligator attack. What authorities are saying about the 2-year-old who was killed. That's ahead this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning and welcome in to you on this day before Friday. I'm Rebecca Smith.
I'm Bill Bryant. Here we are on your Thursday morning, and it has been a dark and stormy night for sure, with some areas dealing with power outages this morning. Hopefully that has calmed down. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, those storms have moved on out, but the front has not moved through, meaning when that front moves through, we have a couple of more rumbles of thunder to go through later on this afternoon, off into the evening. Defender radar network, nothing on there this morning, so as you're walking outside, you have no problems whatsoever. We actually have clear skies for many locations. And temperatures there in the mid-60s. By the afternoon, we're upper 80s to around 90 degrees. Those couple of rumbles are in the forecast for today, but remember, that's with a cold front. And that front is going to be moving through today into tomorrow, and it actually brings us some really, really nice weather. Loving this weekend forecast. I'm going to talk about that cooler air. I'm going to show you where I expect these storms for today, because it's not for everybody. That's coming up.
Breaking news this morning in Lexington. Police have been locked in a standoff near Versailles Road for over 4 hours.
The scene is on Deauville Drive. This is off Oxford Circle. Police say the gunman and a child are still inside a home. WKYT's Hillary Thornton is live there with what we know so far. Hillary?
Good morning. That's right, Bill. As you mentioned, this happening on Deauville Drive. I'm here on Oxford Circle. The standoff taking place on the side street off of where I am standing. The standoff still going on more than 4 hours after it started, and we are told that there is a young child inside that house with a man who's armed with a gun. This is happening in the 1900 block of Deauville Drive. Investigators say neighbors heard shots coming from the home, and police were called. When officers got there, they saw he was armed. Then once they identified themselves, the man opened fire. Lexington police say they did not fire back, instead taking cover. The suspect then ran around the house and back inside. Now, there was a little confusion at first because they did not know where exactly he went. A canine unit came out, did a track. They then felt confident he went back inside. This all happening with 2 young kids and his wife inside. Police then put a spotlight on the house and were able to talk him into letting the wife out. Then a child was released as well. However, one young child does still remain inside. Now, the emergency response unit is on scene here. Police tell us they're not going to take any chances with that young child inside. For now, live in Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Hillary, thank you. We'll keep you posted on that story this morning. A Fayette County jury has found Mark Taylor guilty of murder in the death of his friend. Lexington police say Mark Taylor killed Alex Johnson in 2013 and stuffed his body in a barrel. After finding Taylor guilty yesterday, the jury deliberated again to determine Taylor's sentence. But before the jury reached that sentence, they heard once again from the prosecution and the defense. In closing arguments, the prosecution said Taylor's family only knew his good side.
What kind of person, after killing their best friend over drugs, of all things, stuffs their body in a barrel?
After about 3 hours, the jury recommended that Taylor serve 22 years for murder, 22 years for kidnapping, and 5 years for tampering with physical evidence. The jury recommended Taylor serve those 3 sentences consecutively. That would be a total of 49 years. He'll be formally sentenced by the judge on July 22nd. An Indiana pastor has been arrested in Kentucky. Investigators say he drove to Franklin County to have sex with a minor. The Attorney General's office says 46-year-old David Brown was arrested in Frankfort yesterday morning. Investigators say he talked to an undercover investigator posing as a minor through an online messenger. They say Brown asked the person for sex. Investigators say he drove to Frankfort thinking he would be having sex with a minor, but instead they say police were waiting to arrest him. They say Brown told them that he is the head pastor of the First Christian Church of Jeffersonville, Indiana.
Friends and family will gather today to remember a man who was killed a week ago in Lexington. It happened early last Thursday morning on East Maxwell Street. Police say 27-year-old Douglas Jordan and a woman were walking down the sidewalk when a man shot Jordan in the head. Jordan was taken to the hospital. He later died. Family tell us he was in his last semester at Bluegrass Community and Technical College, where he was getting a teaching and coaching degree. The visitation for Jordan will be today from 11 until 1. The service will be right after. Both will be held at the Lewis County High School Auditorium in Vanceburg. So far, police haven't made any arrest in this case. Well, new this morning, a Southern Kentucky mother has been arrested. Police say they found her child walking alone out in the street. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office charged 24-year-old Felicia Gaines with wanton endangerment and endangering the welfare of a minor. Deputies say they found her 5-year-old daughter walking alone near her home on Slate Lick Street. They say the child told them she was going to her uncle's house. Deputies say they found Gaines sleeping at home. They say she had slurred speech and appeared to be under the influence. A hearing in the case of a missing Nelson County mother has been delayed. Crystal Rogers disappeared last July. Police say her boyfriend, Brooks Houck, is a suspect in the case but has not been charged. Investigators want his grandmother to testify before a grand jury, but she's refused to talk. That's led to a hearing being scheduled yesterday, but prosecutors asked that it be postponed because they say they need more time to decide exactly what questions to ask Houck's grandmother. The hearing has been delayed until the end of July.
The time is 5:06 on WKYT this morning. A 15-hour filibuster on the U.S. Senate floor over gun control has just wrapped up this morning. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is at our live desk now, our alert desk, to give you the details.
That filibuster was led by Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy. Take a look at what he tweeted at 1:53 this morning. He said, "I am proud to announce that after 14+ hours on the floor, we will have a vote on closing the terror gap and universal background checks." Senator Murphy is upset with congressional inaction over gun violence. Now, in the aftermath of Orlando's mass shooting, he and his colleagues say they will work hard for a legislative response to the tragedy. During the filibuster for tighter gun laws, Murphy talked about the 2012 massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary School, where 20 children and 6 adults were killed.
Because it is devastating. It is devastating to the families who lived through this trauma to watch the United States Senate do nothing, absolutely nothing, week after week.
Now, the Senate is now set to vote on a bill to implement universal background checks and ban suspected terrorists from being able to buy guns. Bill, Rebecca.
And thank you very much, Michelle. This morning, Walt Disney World beaches are still closed as a precaution after that deadly alligator attack.
2-year-old Lane Graves was killed Tuesday night. He was wading in shallow water at the popular resort. Don Champion has the latest on the investigation.
An autopsy is planned on the body of little Lane Graves. Heartbroken members of the Orange County, Florida Sheriff's Department tweeted a photo of the 2-year-old last night, hours after his body was found in this Disney World resort lake.
I will tell you that it was a tough message to deliver.
It was along the idyllic shores of the lake where investigators say an alligator pounced Tuesday night and snatched Lane as he waded in shallow water. In horror, his father, Matt, tried unsuccessfully to wrestle Lane back to safety. Crews searched for the boy's body for 16 hours.
The child was found, his body was completely intact. And so at this time, we will go through the formality of making a formal identification.
No swimming signs were posted in the area of the attack, but there were not any warnings about alligators. Disney says that will now be under review. Alligators are part of the natural landscape at Disney World. Mark McHugh is an expert on the reptiles.
There's a lot of canals and there's a lot of ponds and a lot of lakes that interconnect all the way through the Disney property. And so it wouldn't be unusual at all for alligators to be moving from one body of water to the next.
Disney has removed alligators from its property before. Don Champion, CBS News, Lake Buena Vista, Florida.
Well, Lane Graves and his family had just gotten to Disney World for vacation. They're from Elkhorn, Nebraska.
Also in Orlando, investigators are continuing to take a closer look at the wife of the gunman police say killed 49 people at a gay nightclub. They say the shooter, Omar Mateen, posted a warning on Facebook moments before the attack, talking about Islamic State vengeance. Investigators say his wife, Noor Salman, drove with him when he cased the Pulse nightclub earlier. And sources say there is surveillance video of her buying ammunition with her husband. Investigators say Salman told them that she tried to talk her husband out of the attack. More on that, of course, throughout the morning and on CBS this morning, Shirley. What a tough time in the Orlando area.
Just
My
awful
goodness.
stories coming out of there, really.
Yeah. The time is 5:10 on WKYT this morning as we're just getting started on your Thursday.
Well, the waiting list is over 40,000 for a new restaurant in London. Find out what is the appeal for this place just ahead this morning.
Looking on Defender this morning, everything is on out of here for now. But later on this afternoon, off into the evening hours, here comes another chance at some rain. We'll talk about that coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
It was a loud evening yesterday evening for most of us central northern zones. That was your best bet at actually picking up some of those strong and potentially severe storms. We had a couple of isolated severe cells. For the most part, it actually worked out for us. It actually moved in a little bit later, and so that lost a lot of that daytime heating, and that helped us out. Good news is it's long gone early this morning. That batch is, but it's not all over with. We still have the front well to the north of us, and it's up towards Chicago at this moment. Here's what's going to happen. This low pressure system makes its way over toward the east. When that happens, it drags that trailing cold front right through the region, and you will feel that later on tonight and into tomorrow. You won't actually feel the difference in the air until tomorrow off into your weekend, but it will give us an opportunity to see a couple of more rumbles of thunder. Now, I will say this, not for everybody. I'll show you where I expect that in just a few seconds. We're at 65 degrees right now in Lexington. Frankfort, the capital city, at 66. Going to Shelbyville, Simpsonville, off toward Lawrenceburg, Midway, Georgetown, all looks well this morning. As you're walking out the door, I see no problems whatsoever. By the afternoon, we're upper 80s to roughly 90 degrees, and also dealing with those couple of rumbles of thunder. Where I expect this is mainly along the 64 corridor, mainly, and down toward the south. Now, I will say this. Somerset, Cumberland region, you guys, I would say, is about a 30% chance of rain. You get toward the border of Tennessee and also Kentucky, then you're talking about a 40 to 50% chance of rain. Lexington, more like a 20 to 30% chance, not a great chance, but it's still there. But you go back over toward the east and southeast, that's the best likelihood of actually picking up these storms. That's where most of the energy is going to come funneling on in. So if you're sitting over toward Pike County, not Floyd, Magoffin, Johnson, Perry, Breathitt, those areas, that's your best chance to actually see some of these rumbles of thunder slide on in. And then tomorrow, you'll feel the difference in the air, 82 degrees, but there is a small chance at a couple of isolated showers, especially eastern zones. Saturday, Sunday, guys, looks really, really good. We have the Grads and Dads car show going on just behind Paul Miller Ford here in Lexington. And that's a lot of Mustangs, a lot of cool cars out there, and it's perfect weather for it. They've been killed the past few years with storms and hot temperatures, but this time
it worked out this
really
time.
Good. Yeah.
And the organizers were giving you some credit
they were
for coming
finally,
through.
Finally, yeah,
all right. 5:16 on WKYT.
So the song goes, no shirt, no shoes, no problem, right?
Right.
Apparently, it really is no problem.
Right. Even no pants, at least if you're planning on dining at this new cheeky restaurant. London's first naked restaurant is taking the old no shirt, no shoes, no service rule and stripping it on down. It's called Bunyadi. The only rule there is no cell phones. Clothing is optional. The cuisine, like the customers, is raw, vegan and non-vegan vegan dishes. They don't plan on eating there or you shouldn't make any plans to eat there soon because Bunyadi currently has a waiting list of about 46,000 people who are waiting to eat sans clothing, I guess, huh?
I guess I just have a problem with the fact that it's raw and vegan. Yuck.
Yeah, well,
that's the only thing I find disgusting.
All kinds of issues with that, but I don't know. 46,000 people seem to disagree.
But I know plenty of people are vegan and plenty of people apparently want to eat naked, so there you go.
There you go. More news coming up on WKYT this morning. Hope you'll stay with us.
We've got to look at your money. Stick around.
Good news from Greece, and which retailer just got a little bit bigger. I'm Karina Mitchell with those stories coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Welcome back now, 5:20 on WKYT this morning. Now to a breaking news alert. We are heading to Fleming County, where crews are on the scene of a large fire on Kentucky 32. We're told a local business is going up in flames right now. Stay with WKYT News and WKYT.com for updates on this story. So a troubling situation in Fleming. Our crew's on the way to check it out. Good news from Greece, a river of support for the Brexit.
And Bed Bath & Beyond makes a big move. Karina Mitchell has the latest on Your Money.
On Wednesday, Wall Street couldn't hold on to gains made earlier in the day, and the Fed announced it will leave a key interest rate unchanged for now. The Dow dropped 34 points, while the Nasdaq fell 8. In London, a flotilla of boats sailed up the River Thames to the Houses of Parliament, signaling support for Britain's exit from the European Union over EU fishing policies. The vessels were greeted by boats with pro-Britain EU supporters, including musician and philanthropist Bob Geldof. Greece's central bank says it agrees with international forecasts that the country will emerge from recession next year. In a new report, the Bank of Greece says it predicts about 2.5% growth next year and is urging bailout lenders to ease Greece's debt obligations. And Bed Bath & Beyond has acquired home furnishings company One Kings Lane. The big box retailer didn't disclose the value of the deal other than to say the amount paid was, quote, not material. The bargain deal comes after One Kings Lane had at one time been valued as high as $1 billion. And that's your Money Watch. For more, log on to CBSMoneyWatch.com. In New York, I'm Karina Mitchell.
And our time this morning, 5:22. Good to have you along on this Thursday with so much more coming up this morning. We're just getting going here.
Yes, we are. We do have a report on sports up next.
On the way next, Alex Poythress works out for the Pacers. Is he being undervalued a little bit because he stayed 4 years at Kentucky? And Chase Vallow, one of the Lexington legends, still recuperating after getting a 93-mile-an-hour fastball to the face. Got the highlights next.
We are in the 60s and dry early this morning as you step out the door. It's really not a bad feel whatsoever. We head into your afternoon. 88 degrees. Yeah, here comes that heat once again, and a couple of rumbles thunder. For the most part, should be south of I-64 for today. Let's check out sports, see what's going on.
As the NBA draft continues to creep closer, we know Jamal Murray is going to be a lottery pick, Scalo first rounder. Tyler Ulis will hear his name called. But what about Alex Poythress? Alex has been working out for several teams, most recently the Pacers. Poythress has all the tools to be a serious player, and at Kentucky he certainly showed flashes, and he thinks he's being overlooked a little.
You know, I'm a way different player than what I was coming from high school. You know, I matured a lot more and just got better all around.
Do you think you're kind of being overlooked a little bit because you did stay 4 years?
A little bit, you know, but I can't control none of that. I can control how people see me. You know, I just come in prepared to work each and every day. You know, I've been through a lot of adversity. A lot of this stuff doesn't fade me no more, so I just got to come in and work hard.
Tyler Ulis tweeting yesterday he was in Chicago working out for the Bulls. There were reports Tuesday Ulis has a hip injury that might require surgery and obviously would not help his draft stock. Ulis played high school ball in Chicago. The Bulls pick 14th next Thursday. That is the final pick in the lottery. Kenneth Fareed and Team Manimal taking on the Maysville All-Stars last night, raising funds for the Manimal Foundation for underprivileged children. Fareed off the alley-oop from Devontae Harper. Then it's Brandon Shingles. The nifty baseline dish to K-Time, throws it down one-handed. Fareed with one more slam, but in the end, it was the Maysville group led by former MSU Eagle Brian Miller, the proud father of Darius Miller, the 35-footer. It's Miller time, 127-124. The Maysville guys win it. And a couple of nights ago, Lexington Legends catcher Chase Vallow took a fastball to the face. He wasn't catching. He was batting, and if you're squeamish, you may not want to watch this. In the fourth inning against the West Virginia Power, Vallow takes a 93-mile-per-hour fastball right on the grill. Vallow takes it straight, and he could not get out of the way. Vallow needed assistance to leave the field. He is a South Atlantic League All-Star. That game is going to be played. The All-Star game will be played at Whitaker Bank Ballpark next Tuesday. Hopefully he can make it. That was a scary scene a couple of nights ago. That's a look at sports. Have a great day.